Hey, Brian from Garage Mall. Today I have an ultra safe submersible aquarium heater from Fishkeeper, and it has a external controller, which means that you can totally submerge the heater, so you make it like super efficient by being totally submerged in the water. It has a temp range of 59 degrees to 94 degrees Fahrenheit, so it should basically go to any temperature that you desire. I like to keep my tropical tanks around 79 degrees. So I think that's best for the plants and overall growth, and the fish seem like they're okay with that as well. So anyway, let's open this up and see what we get inside. So first couple of things, you get a pack of suction cups that mount it to the glass. You get your instruction manual, which we'll go over before we put everything in place. This is the heater. It's got some packing foam and some plastic. I'll pull that out. So that is pretty sharp looking, and that's everything in the box. So that is the heater. So pretty neat. And then you have your suction cup placements on the back. I'm not sure we can do it on the front. I think it's just going to be on the back. So we'll probably try to mount it right here so we can see it pretty well. Right below, I have like a little circulation, like fan, I call it, inside the aquarium. So let's open the pack of suction cups. Okay, so we mount these basically right here in the back. So it's pretty easy to put in. So that's the little slot right there. And then we put the suction cup, kind of press it in, and you kind of like feel it snap into place. So that's that. So we have our wire tie here. Let's get that off really quick. And with any type of heater or anything that's coming out of your tank, you want to make sure that you make a drip loop, meaning that you want to have a little bit of wire hanging down below your socket. So if any water does drip down the line, it's not going to get to your electrical socket. And let's get this wire undone completely too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have some area I'm going to clean up. I'm probably going to mount it right here on the side underneath that circulation fan, but we are going to basically just kind of have it sit here below facing so you guys can see everything that's going on with it. So let's put this, mount that up like that. So we get a little bit of a side view to it. I think it'll probably stay that way. Okay. So then this will go to our electrical cord. Let's plug that in. Okay, so you can see already it is calibrating, and I will bring the camera closer once we have this kind of like set in place. And then on this controller, you just hold the button in for a couple seconds. I think it's like 5 in total. And then you just can basically set that up to any temperature that you want. And that is set to Celsius. Let's see if we can't get that to switch over. Alright, so that is, you hold it in and that will switch over to Fahrenheit. And then we'll just turn that up. Nope, went past it, no big deal. So we'll just go past 94, then it goes back down to 59. And then we'll go back up to our 79 set temp. Okay? Then it'll kind of like blink for a couple seconds. So it will tell you what the temperature of the water is. So it's showing that the water is 74 degrees, which makes sense because I just cleaned the aquarium up. So it has basically fresh, cooler water in. So it will come back up the temperature here in a little bit. But let me bring you in for a closer view so you can see it. All right, so you can see that it is showing that it is 74 degrees. So basically to adjust it, you hold this button in for a couple seconds. I think it's like 5 seconds in total. And then I will start blinking. So that actually switched over to Celsius. So you can see how it's like, 22 degrees Celsius. So we'll hold it in again. And then I'll switch over to Fahrenheit. That's a set temperature. And like I said, every time you click down on this, it'll go up. So you have a max of 94, then it goes back down to 59. And then we'll set this back up to my set of 79. So it'll basically blink for a couple seconds. And then it will go back down. So now you see that the water temperature is 74 degrees. And that little red dot below that is actually the heater heating. So when that goes out, you know that you're set at temp. But anyway, we will maneuver this around in my tank so we can get it like basically well situated. But yeah, I mean, that is it. Okay, so I ended up mounting it on the other side of the tank. I think that was probably the best place for it. I got really good water circulating, as you can kind of see, so that will rush around that heater. And the cool thing about this was I actually unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it had a memory. It remembered what my set temperature was, so that is really awesome. So if you have a power failure, you know that at least your heater is going to come back on. So yeah, that's a really good feature of this. And other than that, so I have it on the side of the tank, so it is barely noticeable. So actually on the curved tank, it kind of like disappears, but anyhow, just figured I'd add that. Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.